Live from the internet, this is the Crystal Chronicles, your Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast. Welcome to episode 71, recorded on this October 3rd, 2019. I am your host, Mark, and I am joined by my co-host first. His name is Mino Spellgood. Mino, push to talk.
I was actually waiting for you to ask me how I am, as usual, and I was gonna say freaking terrible, because apparently for the last who knows how many dozens of episodes and months, my voice cutting out has been a regular occurrence, and no one has told me this on stream or in Discord or anything. Apparently I cut out a lot, and people are telling me that it's no big deal. But I went back and listened to the last episode, and holy crap, I can't even understand what I'm saying sometimes. And I'm even more upset that you and Kreese haven't brought this up in the past either. So, you know, that's where I am right now, tweaking settings. Hopefully no cutting out at all this episode.
In our defense, usually you'd cut off mid-laughter.
To be fair,
it's even worse.
To be fair, some of the potential cutting off was just drunken stammering. So it's hard to tell whether you were cutting off or you were just kind of going on this drunken stuttering streak for a while. So, yeah.
I mean, great, but I know, like, I think when we brought this up on the Discord, people were like, oh, but it's hilarious because sometimes you'll be talking and you'll cut out and then it'll just suddenly be you laughing, like you're laughing at your own joke. And it's so, I'm pretty incensed. When I found out, I was like, how did everyone let this go on for so long? It's ridiculous.
Well, also joining me is our co-host who is not intoxicated and is not cutting out. His name is Kreese, a.k.a. Zerink. How are you, Kreese?
I'm trying very hard not to hit the update button on Discord because it popped up right as we started recording. And I know at some point I'm going to want to hit it and I need to stop myself.
Don't hit that update button. Don't hit that update button. Well, welcome all of you on Twitch live with us right now. Thanks for joining us on the show. And welcome all of you joining through the Twitchverse later on YouTube or on the podcast hashtag It's a Podcast. So we know there are hundreds of you listening on Google Play, the Apple Podcast Store, Stitcher, SoundCloud, anywhere that you get your podcasts. I would encourage you, because I just learned this week that we have been ranked on the official Apple podcast rankings for video game podcasts. So we're very low in the rankings, but we are ranked. So if you would give us a like and a review, please make it good, on Apple. If you listen to us on Apple, we would appreciate that. So thank you for
I didn't realize there
support.
was a ranking thing for podcasts. That's cool.
There is, and we are number 233 in the... Which is
out of how many? Do you know?
Well,
how many?
I don't know how many are ranked, but you know, a few hundred.
I mean, I imagine there's actually a lot of video game podcasts.
I said the first 300 are mostly Fortnite, so you know, so I feel pretty good about that for our very niche podcast. Not about all video games, not even about all Final Fantasy. There are some actual generalized Final Fantasy podcasts as well, but just about Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. There is not a lot about that, so we are doing pretty well for that niche. And so we thank all of you for making that possible. We have updated, I'm trying to get back to the outline. We have updated our Discord. We thank our friend Quetz for taking over some of the management of our Discord, because he knows how to do things on Discord a lot better. And of course, he is master of all things robots. So he has added several bots to the Discord to make it run more effectively. So we've upgraded our Discord format. We have increased the ability for you to select roles, and we're going to automate that here soon. But we have now all kinds of different roles that you can choose. We've also added a VIP chat called TCC Supporters Chat for all of you who are Discord Nitro boosters for all of you who have cheered or subbed, whether it's a regular sub or a Twitch Prime sub on Twitch. So please, if you'd like to do that, give us a sub. You'll automatically, if your Twitch is linked with your Discord, you'll automatically be entered into that chat and given that role. If that's not done for you, just DM me, give me a direct message, and I will add you to that role if you have subscribed via Prime or via just a regular subscription. So we do thank you for all of your support. It does help make this podcast happen. I also want to make sure that we're all aware that the DFFOO Reddit, the official Reddit, is participating in Extra Life this year with all of the Chocobro collaborative of Final Fantasy Reddits. And so Shara is going to be streaming a marathon, and they're going to be raising money for the Children's Hospital Miracle Network, I believe. So a great way to do that. So go on the official Reddit and check out when that's going to be happening early next month, and support that and support our community through that thing. So let's move on to the news of the day. There was a couple updates here this last week. First is the Dissidia point exchange was updated. So there's no longer regular power orbs and regular guard orbs, but now there's an increased number of higher power orbs and higher guard orbs. There's also an increased number of stamina potions available for purchase. And I think that was it, correct, at this one? Just more...
Yeah, that's all they did. They made it so that you can get more higher guard orbs, higher power orbs, and double number of stamina potions, and just excise the lower tier orbs from the exchange.
So we are grateful. And I believe the gil was increased from 1,000 per purchase to 10,000 per purchase. So
I almost never used that, so I didn't even look at it.
I have never, ever bought gil. And thank you.
I did it. I bought gil only when I was overflowing on Dissidia points, and it was either waste daily Dissidia points or get gil.
Kreese has also reminded us that we got 4 Setzer stickers. So those are fun stickers. They're 500 Dissidia points each. So that will help with some of your extra Dissidia points that you have in the various token shops that have been unclaimed, because that's kind of where mine end up, unclaimed in the Dissidia shop until I have something to spend them on. So there are more things to spend on currently.
Oh, I wanted to say, Mark, so apparently, someone correct me in chat if I'm wrong, but I think I checked with a few JP players. I think these Setzer stickers are GL exclusive for right now.
Oh, really? Interesting. Can anyone confirm that on Twitch? Any of our Japanese playing players can say yes, Square Enix Joshua is confirming
Josh
that.
confirmed it. There you go. Thank you, Josh.
So we get Setzer instead of Hope. I think that is a fair trade.
That is a fair trade. Thank you.
The Setzer ones are very good. I mean, I like Setzer as a character in general, but these stickers are very good.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the stickers. I have not been using them in co-op because I have not been doing co-ops this week because of Ramuh summon boards, but yeah, they're really cool.
Well, that
I know if Setzer is
very nice. Yo, go ahead, Mino.
Oh, sorry, a little message popped up. I guess I was holding my push to talk. But if Setzer's synergy for the Alphinaud co-op coming up, which I really, really hope he is, because I don't like any of the other characters, then I'll be, running Setzer for fun and using this.
I do not think he is boosted.
Yeah.
I think that was a special thing they did for Sarah.
Oh, for Sarah. Yeah.
I'm hoping they continue the trend, because it was really nice to always have more options. But we'll see. It's what, 3 days away, basically?
Yeah, we'll find out one way or another. That would be for Alphinaud, not Alphamaw, right?
It's Alphinaud.
Alphinaud. Alpha Dog. You all know who I'm talking about. One of those alphas. Alice's brother. That one. That's who I'm talking about. Not the lady with the fists. Not her. So, thank you, Setzer Stickers. GL first. Very cool. Right from the community manager's mouth. We also have a Portal app campaign ongoing that has officially started as of October 1st all the way through October 31st. So go on your Portal app, make sure you download that. I know we have a few people, I believe Ragnamune was playing Triple Triad. So there's a few people playing Triple Triad on that. That's one way to get points. Logging on, checking out some other things. That is another way to get some points for the community, and everyone who's on there adds to that, and we get free stuff. So download it, check it out. There is some cool things on the Portal app. So thank you for that. There's also now, with the current Prompto event and then the Gilgamesh LC, there has been, as we mentioned last week, a change to the world of illusion. So there will no longer be events with those artifacts, with those banner characters. So those have become special missions. So you saw them for Prompto, you'll see them for Gilgamesh, and I think we saw them for the co-op as well for the Ultimate Ramuh not co-op, the Ultimate Ramuh event too. So you actually have to go in and exchange tokens, 1 for an Idoja, 10 gold tokens for 1 Idoja, and you get 200 gems for every character that you do that for whichever missions you need to. So that is how they are making sure that we are getting the same number of gems, even though they have removed those World of Illusion missions that have been changing from event to event. So there you go. I think that's the news of the day. So we'll go on to our first event. We only have 2 this week.
Before we move on, I just want to mention and reiterate what you said, Mark. Everyone, if you can, try to download the Portal app and use it, even if it's just to help us accrue points this month. We were very close to not meeting all the goals last time.
Yeah.
It's really simple. You just hop in, check the news stories. You don't even have to read them. Scroll to the bottom, hit get points. You get them.
Very nice. And play Triple Triad.
After Mark reminded me, I just logged in for the first time this month and did every news story I could find.
Play Triple Triad. I'm doing it right now as we're podcasting. So there you go. Enjoy it. No, it's a pretty cool app, and it has some cool things. But yes, we did almost miss the rewards. It's free stuff just by logging in 5-10 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes a day. You're going to not regret that. So if we all do that, we will get those free things. All right.
Far from Daylight in chat brings up a good point. Without the individual World of Illusion artifacts for each event, we're not getting the 2 treasure books that each one came with.
Ooh.
So that is a big deal, I guess. That's an interesting point.
Wasn't it Gil and a 2x treasure book? It wasn't a lot of bonuses, and we're still getting all the Gil that we missed otherwise, and it's actually easier to... not the Gil, the gems.
Yeah. I mean, Gil, I don't care about, but the 2 treasure books each time, that adds up, because I definitely use those a lot.
2 times books, not tomes, correct? They weren't tomes. They were just
it was
books.
a 2x treasure books.
Yeah.
Well, I never use those anyway, so
one
I don't think it's a big deal.
It was
It's a couple of treasure books. It does add up over time, but the treasure books are also pretty cheap in the store, and they're given out pretty handily elsewhere, that it's not a huge deal to lose them.
And IcePick823 is saying, well, you get more gems overall now, so I guess you can use the extra gems to just buy the book. So I guess, yeah, okay, so, it balances out. More than balances out, because gems are more valuable because they're more versatile currency. So, yeah, that is nice. Okay.
Yeah, and you can buy 3 times books with those, the tomes, which are much more useful than the double books, because I almost never use double books.
Although the 3x tomes are a limited available resource on the shop, so if you want them, you need to get them during this week, I believe.
During the sale. So, yeah, there's a sale ongoing with the 3 times books, or there's going to be a new sale coming up. There's one currently.
Sale's going on right now. I restocked my experience books.
Yep. How long does that last? Can you see? I don't have.
I think it's a week, maybe a week and a half. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, we have Far From Daylight. We have ended up getting more gems after this update. That is correct. So.
Okay, so the triple effect support item sale is until the release of the story chapter, so midweek next week.
All right, so make sure you load up on your triple books or tomes or whatever they're called for experience and items at least, or Gil if you're somehow missing out on Gil.
The triple experience books make the treasure board farming for
I
summon
would
boards
not
so much faster.
I would not go into summoning boards without a triple XP book. I guess a lot of you may have more time than I do, but I would not. I think it is well worth the gem investment, even if you spend 2,000 gems a month every time they're on sale, or even 4,000 gems every time they're on sale. I rarely run out of them, and I always have a good stock of them. So it does make a lot of difference, especially with the super synergy or special boosted characters. So let's talk a little bit more about that as we get into Ultimate Ramuh or Rama. Did we decide how we're pronouncing this?
It's Ramuh.
Are we sure it's Ramuh? Ramen.
Ramuh. I just realized my push to talk probably picked up my little
yeah,
it did.
I did hear
clicks,
that little
God damn it.
God thing.
Damn.
That was great. So we do have Ultimate Ramuh, and if this is your first time seeing an Ultimate Summon, it shouldn't be because there's two others, Ultimate Ifrit and Ultimate Shiva. So this is our third, the Lightning Old Man from multiple Final Fantasy games. So of course you can bring him up to level 30, and you can farm his boards for all, what are we at? 103 characters, if you have all the characters. Yes, 103 characters. That means well over, 30,000 gems and how many tickets? 300
it's 300
tickets?
gems per character, it's 3 tickets per character, and it's 5 armor tokens per character. So yeah, it's over 30,000 gems, 300 draw tickets, and 500 armor tokens is what Josh gave us on the slides.
Yeah. So that's a lot of stuff hidden behind a little bit of work. You don't have to master all of them, but if you want to master it for your best characters, that is very, very nice. So for
this is also an amazing time to build up resources, tickets, armor tokens, and gems, because using the special boosted characters, of which for Ramuh it is Eiko, Sid, Setzer, Lena, Onion Knight, and Maria, using them gives everyone double experience as a base if they are in the party.
Also, I believe, I'm hoping Josh can correct us in chat about this if needed, since clearly as time goes on, my research before these episodes is getting worse and worse. But I believe Ramuh originally had a veil, and I think they removed that from the GL version prematurely. So that definitely helps with things.
I
forget how it was activated.
We're talking about Ramuh not having a veil in his farmable version, even before the event.
I could have sworn Ramuh never had a veil, is what people are saying in chat. Okay, so
yeah,
I think
crystals.
it's yeah, because I know they had a quality of life improvement on the summons later on, and they removed the veil from Shiva and Ifrit, and I think what they did was they removed the damage immunity from Ramuh when his ads were up. I think that's what it was, and I was thinking veil.
Yeah, he has the ads that come up that prevent you from doing damage to him. So that's how his mechanic works. He starts with a AoE attack, summons 2 ads. You can't do any damage to him until you kill those 2 ads. Not a problem if you don't let him act, which is a fairly easy tactic to do, especially if you're using the special boosted character Setzer and you bring a friend Kistis. Of course, characters like Cloud with his Paralyze, Vayne with his turn delay, Noctis with his turn shenanigans can all help with that as well, or you can just go and beat him up. Personally, I have been using Setzer, a strong character, a weak character, and subbing in a friend Kistis for the weak character, and unless I'm streaming and not paying attention, he never gets to act. Ramuh never gets to act. So it seems to be an easier fight than normal. But let's start Yes, by talking about who is special boosted. We already mentioned Setzer, Lena, Maria, Onion Knight, Sid from Final Fantasy VII, and Aiko are all special boosted or super synergy, depending on what you want to say. And they do give you those special 2 times boosts, 2 times experience for anybody that you bring with them. The banners that we received are follows: Setzer EX with, who else is on that banner? Onion Knight and Lena with their 35 and 15. And then a half price banner, first draw, Sid, Maria, and Aiko, just their 15 CPs and 35 CPs. So the big banner and the only rework on these 6 characters is for the Gambler from Final Fantasy VI, Setzer. And so I'm going to bring you through what Setzer got, because I got Setzer's EX in my 13 ticket draw. So
before you go through with that, Quetz is starting to introduce those weekly polls on our server where people talk about their desire to pull. Should we do that before or after the descriptions from now on? Let's do it after. After?
Okay, yeah, I was going to do it during host discussion, but yeah, we can do it as we talk about the character. That would make more sense. So if you go to our Discord, every time there's a new character, Quetz is going to throw that up in the new character description, and you're going to be able to vote, and we'll go over that in a second, about what you plan to do. And this will give us some sense of what our community is doing on our Discord. It's not for, it's not polling everyone. It's just kind of what a sense of what our community is going to do. We thought it would be something fun that we could do. So we'll share that here after I go through what Setzer got in his level 70, his rework, and his EX. So Mino, just get ready to pull that up when we're done with the description.
Sure thing. And also, just to address chat really quick, because they love doing this, and they're talking about... So technically, I guess the correct pronunciation is Aiko, but I'm not about to correct Mark, and Aiko's close enough. It's whatever. But people were just talking about the pronunciation.
Aiko,
I guess they love poking fun of Mark's pronunciations for some reason. I don't know why. It's not a big deal. I think
the problem is that these are characters that were never articulated in their own game, so people
100%.
came up with their own name, with their own pronunciations for them.
100%. We've talked about that many times. So I will keep saying the names incorrectly to upset some of you. So Setzer, tell me if that's pronounced wrong. He did get a tiny rework, but this tiny rework is actually pretty big. His C50, his passive 50, which was increase I Brave, M Brave, attack, defense, and speed after using all of your abilities. So it was called All In. And it also has artifacts that can boost it a little bit more. So once Setzer ran out of abilities, he was able to basically get a boost, a fairly significant boost. It's 30% plus 5% per artifact, per 2-star artifact. So a fairly significant boost to his stats, but he didn't have any abilities. So this has now been changed. So after using 2 uses of Freeze Joker, he will get the all-in boosts. So this makes Setzer quite a bit more powerful than he was pre-rework. That's all the rework he got, but it's really enough for right now. He also got an AA ability called Boost Up All. Certainly I did not do this because he is black crystals, I believe, and I don't have an excess of this, so my Setzer's only 71. But Boost Up All is if you have it fully extended and if you have the Bloomstone, is a 5-turn party max brave up 20% with 2 uses, so not the best of the AA abilities, but 20% max brave to the party for 5 turns, 10 turns total.
It's a pretty decent
good
ability considering it affects his allies too.
Exactly.
20% max brave boost is nothing to scoff at, especially with most characters having brave overflow. That's another additional step on top of that max brave boost. It's a really nice support ability.
It is. Yeah, certainly not the worst of the abilities when it comes to AA. So unfortunately, most of us have probably spent our high crystals on Noctis or somebody else. But if you want to bring Setzer all the way up, you can unlock that ability. He also gets his EX for the first time, which casts Prismatic Flash on a slightly fast to fast, if you have it fully broken, rate. It is a 7-hit non-elemental magic AoE Brave attack with an AoE HP attack that, of course, is increased if you are targeting one target. It heals the party's Brave by 100% of the highest current Brave, except for the person who has the highest current Brave. So basically, whoever has the highest Brave, everybody gets that amount of Brave. So it's a huge, huge battery. And then it does HP damage from him, divided equally among the targets. And I didn't even realize this till today, till I was looking it up. Extends the duration of his personal buffs by 1 turn. So that's just kind of a nice benefit. And grants him the framed buff, Blackjack, for 6 turns. Blackjack is a party aura that increases the attack and max Brave of the party by 20% and increases his own attack and max Brave by 20%. And of course, if you fully limit break it, it becomes faster, it becomes more powerful, and just really, and grants Brave regen to the Blackjack as well, and grants overflow. I mean, it's pretty cool. And also gives him an HP attack, HP plus attack to add just from the start. You don't have to do anything to activate it, I believe. So pretty cool, I would say, as EXs go. I know a lot of people, you know, is he a better friend unit or is he a better party unit? Obviously for farming, he's super great, but you don't need his EX for farming Ultimate Ramuh. But it's pretty cool, and there's some neat combinations. Jin Lee, who's part of our community, who brought you all of our great backgrounds and does all of our emotes and your Twitch badges. Jin was using Ramuh and Selfie, and I actually just literally asked if anyone did that right as he was posting that, to see if using a battery plus Selfie's fast aura buff from her EX actually made him even better. And it does actually make Setzer pretty cool, because it charges his EX almost every other turn, and it also allows him to continue to have somebody battering, so he does a lot of cool things. So that is Setzer. Did you want to go, Mino, to see what the community was, whether they were pulling or not pulling, before we talk about what we did?
Sure. So it looks like I'll go in order of least to most. So it seems like we had about 54 votes, and within our community, it was 3 were planning to pity him, which I'm actually surprised. I thought more would want to pity Setzer. I think Setzer is a really good character. I want to give my whole take on that in a sec too. But 3 were willing to pity, 5 were willing to spend gems but not pity, 9 were gonna pass completely, and 30 were gonna try for tickets. So I mean that align. I mean, I myself did tickets. You did tickets as well, right? I don't think any of us co-hosts are planning to actually throw gems at Setzer.
Yeah, I threw about 30 tickets myself, and just kind of peace out after that.
Yeah, but I mean, I am a big Setzer fan. The problem is there's so many, amazing characters coming on the horizon. That's the curse of foresight, right? But I've always been a big fan of Setzer in this game. Well, I mean, in FF6 as well. He was one of the cooler characters, I think. But in this game specifically, he's always had the coolest gimmicks. Everyone will have, like, maybe a gimmick or two. For example, like Porum. She has the overheal shields, but besides that, she's basically like a lot of other
damage reduction.
Damn it, you got me. Okay, damn it, you know what I mean. A lot of the DPS, they do the same thing, maybe add an element or something. But Setzer's always been like king of the gimmicks because he has so many. He was one of the first to get the turn delay. He was one of the first to get the multiple Brave plus HP attacks, other than Vaughn. He's still the
Shadow
only
got it
one.
First.
Really? No, wait.
Shadow was awakened before Setzer.
No, but not 3, right? Not 3 Brave.
It was 2 Brave plus HP combos. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, did Setzer not have that in base form?
Setzer didn't get HP attacks on any of his abilities until his awakening.
Oh, okay. So I can still say he's one of the first, if not the first, to get the triple Brave plus HP, I believe. And the turn the delay. He's still the only one with the Brave Freeze, I believe, which is super unique and always been helpful. Like, he's been subbed into all kinds of fights for that. And now he gets a super unique EX as well, where it's like a reverse Ishtola, basically. It just batteries everyone to current top, and then it's a great party buff as well. So I just love that this character just keeps on getting unique mechanics all piled into one. You know, I can't wait to see what his next ability is going to be. But I think because he has so many gimmicks, he's always going to be situationally useful. I lucked into him on tickets, but I would have loved to have him either way, because I think there's just so many instances where you remember, it's like the freeze. You remember that he can do this one thing that nobody else can do, and it probably can drastically change how you approach a fight.
Strafe is saying not enough skill uses or longevity, though. He does suffer from limited skill uses. I believe he only has 3 freeze jokers and 9 red cards, but he does have a decent
6 red cards.
6 red cards, excuse me. He does have a decent HP plus and a decent Brave plus, which can do HP damage with a EX, which is really fast charging. So, yeah, often moving forward, we did see in the Japan similar era, we did see people bring Setzer as a friend on a regular basis because his EX is so powerful, because he does have that good turn delay, and he does have the ability to freeze. So he is a decent friend unit moving forward, even into Chaos. I believe I've seen people use him as a friend still. So,
I will also note that the freeze is unique amongst the ways you can shut down dangerous HP attacks, whereas characters like Agrius or Kefka will shut down HP attacks, or Cloud will paralyze, or Gilgamesh will paralyze now. It doesn't cause their AI to move on. With Setzer, it actually causes them to do the HP attack. They do no damage, and then their AI moves to the next routine, which can be very useful in some situations.
Yeah, great point. And what Kreese is trying to say, to make it a little clear, is that with Kefka and Agrius and stuff, it's a stall, because they're still going to try again next turn. Oh, and then I guess, sorry, with the opening, I wanted to say another thing that I loved and they still haven't re-implemented is that, oh, well, no, I guess Setzer's all-in is a little different. I was going to compare it to the other C50 skills, that activate on the last wave. But he was always empty his skills. Yeah. And I was like, I like how they reworked it so that he can activate it earlier. If these C50 skills in the future for all these characters could be activated earlier, I personally dislike the last wave only skills, because so many of the harder fights are 5 waves. And a lot of the times the mini bosses are as hard, if not harder, than the final boss. So I believe that having flat stats is better overall. But if they reworked it so that some of these final wave abilities could be activated earlier on different conditions, I would completely invest in them much more. And they have artifacts to boost them as well. So I really like that they made this change on Setzer, at least.
Okay, I need to go back to what I just said, because apparently a lot of people are calling me out in chat. I am mistaken. While Paralyze will cause the AI routine to not move forward, Silence and HP Silence will cause the AI routine to continue forward, unless it's like one of these ultimate summons like Ramuh that has a charge bar associated with it.
Right. Yep, that is correct.
So I apologize for that misinformation.
Well, that's what we're here for, misinformation. We are your source for misinformation. So you can now bring Ramuh Summon up to level 30. Once he becomes level 30, I have to prove my up here. His blessing is now raises max brave by 15% and raises defense by 40% while HP below 80. Of course, he does lightning damage and has the same turn rate and regular damage as your other summons. I know there seem to be a lot of people in Chaos era using him for that defense buff, especially on Lightning Week. bosses, of course. So I don't know right now. We're certainly
Max Brave Up is pretty nice too.
Yeah, the Max Brave Up is nice, and the the defense up can be nice if you're dealing with some more powerful bosses. This is not something we need right now, but perhaps something that we can use in the future. So either way, you want to get Ramuh up to level 30 so you can unlock the ultimate Ramuh COSMOS fight. And obviously it's World of Illusion, so everyone is synergy, which is nice. So it's not the hardest Cosmos fight. There's only one of him. And if you have Kistis, Setzer, who did I bring? Kistis, Setzer, Vane, maybe? I just like went full in. Oh no, I brought Setzer, Vane, Vanille, and friend Kistis. I brought Vanille for the defense down. I just like, screw you, old man. You don't even get any defense. And yeah, that was 28 turns that he did not get to act of me just killing him. So yeah, I'm not sure. Eroila used Sid, Lena, and Onion Knight. So there you go. I don't know what you can do.
I use the mindless team of the current meta, Noctis, Pain, Warrior of Light. I let him do one of his ultimate abilities, then just shut him out for the rest of it.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Yes, Harith. Who's calling me out on Ragnamune? Are you calling me out on Kistis? Because that is how you say it. That is 100% how it's pronounced.
We had this debate in the chat.
Debate.
Just a few,
no debate.
I know. No. So for a few minutes ago, a few minutes ago in chat, I didn't think it warranted making it on a stream, but since Mark is addressing it directly,
Kistis.
I said Kistis/Quistis. The only one that I have that I'll lean both ways on is because the actual French name is Kistis,
yes,
or Kistis, or one or the other. But in the when they voice it in the FF games, they say Quistis, and so it's hard because it's a real name.
When have they voiced it?
World of Final Fantasy.
Oh, that doesn't count.
She's in
World of Final Fantasy isn't canon.
The point is,
garbage me.
The point is, when they voiced the name, they did say Quistis several times. But Kistis is a real name. It's a hard one. So that's why I'm saying that one I'm open to both.
Japanese is Kistis.
Yes, that's true.
Lan and Rain do exist.
But then again, the Japanese of Kryle is like Kururu, so
yeah, right,
that's not even close. So I'll go with whatever. I'm fine.
I don't care. Quastis. What else do we have to say about beating up this old man? How are your summon boards going, guys? Let's talk about that.
I'm almost done with treasure boards, and I also wanted to mention right now, we had a question last week that I think we just touched on, but now we can actually address a little better about who would be the best special boosted character to carry your teams for Ramuh. And I've experimented with it. I have a fully built Lena, fully built Onion Knight, fully built Aiko, and a Setzer without an EX weapon. Setzer is by far the best special boosted character to use for this fight if you're farming the treasure boards. Yeah, it's not too surprising, but Setzer is definitely the best because of the turn delay and freeze.
I thought I was doing good. Freaking Crease over here is like, guys, I've been really busy with real life recently. I haven't been able to play DFFOO much. And then all of a sudden, I'm almost done with my boards, by the way. I thought I was doing good. As someone who hates grind,
I was almost done with treasure boards. I still have to go back and master so many characters. I've done no masteries except for special boosted so far.
And this is like the most I've ever... maybe I went a little harder on Ifrit boards, but I've been dedicating almost 2 hours a night since it dropped. I was like, that's a lot of time. 2 hours a night is a lot of time. I've been dedicating 2 hours a night, and I've only finished about 45 of the treasure boards. So almost halfway, not quite. And
you're slow then, because I've been grinding less than you, and I'm almost done.
You're using the ×3 books. I'm using the ×2 books.
Why the hell are you using
and you were complaining about me so much time.
What's wrong with you?
Okay, but you said you've spent pretty much the same amount of time. You pretty much spent 2 hours a day, pretty much, right?
I said it was about an hour and a half, except for last night where I did 2 hours, and today I've only done a half hour of grinding.
I mean, so my train of thought is that because Ramuh is so easy, I would save the ×3 for someone who's more of a pain in the ass, which I have no idea. Probably no one again. Probably when Shiva comes back into special boosted territory. That's
I'm
what
just going to mention that next week's going to be very busy once all that story chapter stuff happens, and then you're not going to be able to use those last few days of special boosted getting done who you want, and you're going to be like, oh shit, how am I going to get this done?
So
I'm gonna binge watch. I'm gonna binge watch the Dark Crystal Chronicles or whatever on Netflix this weekend. And just grind the rest of it out.
Macnol has our friend Macnol, who does the Call to Arms. Make sure you check out Macnol on Reddit, MACNOL, his Call to Arms, and that is linked below on our Twitch, and it's in the show notes. The index of all the Call to Arms and the video guides, that is linked to you. He has mastered 53 boards on Ramuh.
Even Macnol's ahead of me at this point. Mark, where are you at? Wait, he's mastered? Holy crap!
Mastered.
What the? We were just talking about treasure boards. He's mastered more than half the cast.
Mastered 53. Star Shadow wants to know if the Dark Crystal Chronicles, is that the JP podcast?
I actually forgot the name. What's the actual name of the show? Now I need to look it up.
Dark Crystal. Age of Rebellion, Age of Resistance. Somebody.
There you go. Dark Crystal. See, I figured it was Dark Crystal, but I was like, that's pretty plain of a title.
What about the podcast?
Yeah, the Dark Crystal Chronicles. That's going to be a new podcast that we're going to do in very late in the night about JP. We don't have any experience in it, but we're just going to speculate all night about things that are coming. I mean, we'll probably be 50% right anyway. Age of Resistance, thank you, God of Cloud9. That is the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, based on the Dark Crystal movie by Jim Henson Company, one of my favorite movies, along with Labyrinth, also from the Jim Henson Company. But that is not what we're talking about. You do not
I need to watch the movie before I watch the series?
The movie, no, you do not. I would suggest it. It's
okay,
also
good.
I think it's also on Netflix.
I mean, I know we're derailing. Wait, is it? Okay, then I will watch it. But I know I'm derailing, but
the show is technically a prequel.
As someone who has no knowledge of the series, are they
you do not.
How are they related to each other?
You do not.
From my understanding, the Netflix series is a prequel series to the movie.
Correct. That is correct.
Okay, so prequel. Okay, so I can just dive right into Netflix.
Yeah. So
series.
Let's bring this to the off topic.
This has been your sponsored segment by Dark Crystal, Age of the Resistance. Thank you for sponsoring the show.
We're not actually sponsored by them. Please don't listen to Mino.
Just to talk about that for 1 minute, because I love the Dark Crystal, and I watched the first episode to see if I could watch it with my boys. In the first episode, one of the characters' basically girlfriend's souls is sucked out. One of the characters is attacked viciously by an animal, and she's a character that loves animals. And one of the bad guys has their eye eaten after a cage is put on their head by a scorpion, like a scorpion robot machine thing. So it's pretty dark. It's pretty messed up. So enjoy that, Mino. You'll have to give us your report on the new segment, Mino's Netflix and Chill.
I guess after all that, I don't even need to watch it anymore.
So you
just told me everything that happened.
I have mastered 15, and I have treasured 45. I've not claimed any of that, but I have mastered 15. I have treasured 45. So that's where I am. I have not spent 8 hours doing it, though. So I was on a couple hours the other night streaming, and I've done it here and there since then. So I hope all of you are having a good time with Ramuh. And remember, every time you get a new character, you got to bring them through a Freet. You got to bring them through Shiva. You got to bring them through Ramuh to get all of their, free things, the gems, the armor tickets, the pull tickets, draw tickets. What are those called? And the armor tokens. That's what I was thinking. So, but I
will say before we step off of Ramuh that I'm probably going to master less Ramuh summon boards this time around than I did for Shiva or even Ifrit, just because it's a huge time investment. And there's so many of these characters that that would be potentials that I just know I am not going to use for the next 3 or 4 months.
Exactly.
And I don't want to waste the time on them when I could do it easier later in the future when they're 50 times stronger.
I'm just waiting for JP. I think when the 5th summon board came out, brothers, they released a temporary event where everyone was special boosted again for 2 weeks. I'm just waiting for that, honestly. And as for mastery, I literally every time only master 6 characters to get limited time rewards. I'm not about that grind.
I don't know if that came with the 5th summon board, but there was an event where the first 3 had special synergy again because it was a banner with Vanille EX, Sarah EX, and Setzer EX. So that's a really cool banner if you don't have any of those. But also then special boosted does come back. I agree with Kreese. I mean, to talk about this for just a second, you know, unless you have a lot of time and you don't mind doing it, I don't see the need to master every single character, especially characters that I know I'm not going to be using. I mean, for example, Garnet. I have Garnet's EX. Garnet's not getting an EX Plus until, like, what, 10 months from now? A year from now?
Not even.
I know Japan doesn't even have it yet.
Well, I know
maybe
Japan,
a year.
Japan
a year for sure, right?
Japan doesn't have Kistis. Japan doesn't have Oran. Japan doesn't have Garnet, 3 of my favorite characters.
I think Quistis is coming this month.
She's coming first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's still, you know, 8 to 10 months from now, and the 2 others, you know, they aren't even there. So you're not going to be using them quite frequently. The only thing I could see for saying, hey, master all of them while you have special boosted is to try to bring them in Far End of Dimensions or Abyss just to have that extra little boost. Yeah, poor Marie doesn't have
Mark,
the X Plus either. I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm saying I could see that argument being made.
Right, but Mark, I'm saying all you're doing right now, Square Enix is watching us Square Enix Joshua is watching us right now. You're just giving him ideas, and they're probably going to time travel those characters now. Because Mark is telling everyone, you know what, these characters are completely skippable, and you're not going to see any use out of them for like 10 months. Speaking of which,
that's exactly what I want to happen.
Speaking of which, we were 10 months behind JP. Now with our slightly accelerated schedule, let's see how fast we're gonna go. But we're at 9.5 months, so maybe we'll reach a whole 9 months by next month. We'll see, but we're speeding up a little bit here and slowly closing the gap.
What it means is that characters are getting EX Plus right now as they are releasing, or they're getting EX Plus in Japan as they're releasing right now in GL, which probably is going to hype them even more.
Yeah, right.
We'll see, because Rem, the data miner, speculated that the next tier of weapons is coming this month for JP. He strongly believes in that. We'll see if it's right or not, but that also means that as soon as we jump into EX Pluses, they're going to start getting their next tier of weapons as well. So we're always like an era behind, pretty much.
So yes, this has been my plan all along to get early Garnet EX Plus. So please. Yes, thank you for joining us for our Dark Crystal talk. We will move on from that to some other Netflix show. Any Gilmore Girls, the new Full House. I don't watch a lot of Netflix. My children watch YouTube videos of people.
I think so. On my to watch list after Dark Crystal, I need to check out the new season of Disenchantment. You know, that fantasy series that Matt Groening's doing. But
no, I haven't seen that.
Oh, really? That's on. You know, like Matt Groening, creator
I'm familiar.
of Simpsons.
Yes.
I hear it's very
mediocre.
Season.
It's fun,
I hear
but
it's very
okay.
mediocre. Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's watchable. It's like The Simpsons. I don't pay 100% attention when I'm watching The Simpsons, but it's great.
Enchanted is a lot like Netflix Futurama.
Okay.
But a lot worse. Let's not get those mixed up. Futurama was a masterpiece.
I'm talking about the Netflix seasons of Futurama.
I got
yeah.
Groening, Matt Groening. Yes.
What did I say? Did I not say groining? Whatever.
So Ramuh, he's out. You have special boosted characters for another week. And good luck. Have fun. Don't burn yourself out. Take your time. Enjoy it. Beat that old man till a pulp.
You probably want to get it done before all the craziness happens next week.
Yeah, the 10th is going to be pretty packed. So you might want to spend some time doing that right now while things are at a nice pace. That brings us to our next event, because this was going to be a short show. It's not working out so well. And that is Gilgamesh LC. And you may all be thinking, well, every other content creator said, Gilgamesh skip. Let's not even talk about Gilgamesh. No, the Crystal Chronicles is going to tell you the real thing about Greg. So, Chris, here's your moment to shine.
Whoa, hold on. Before we cannot hype this up enough. Kreese has been working on this defense of Gilgamesh for over a week, possibly several weeks now. He claims to have tested this out on some test audiences, and apparently he convinced many people. A lot of people, the public opinion right now is that Gilgamesh is trash and he should be a skip. In fact, let me jump to our poll right now on our server.
Yeah, let's go to the poll.
It says, okay, no, actually there's some fake numbers in here. Let me weed this out.
Okay.
So 2 people said they were willing to spend gems on Gilgamesh. No, one person, K9 Ward, I'm going to give you a special shout out because you're the only person who said that they would spend gems on Gilgamesh.
God bless you.
Two people said they would pity Gilgamesh, including Pyros right now in chat.
Pyros, good on you.
Yeah. And then -2, I keep forgetting. 7 people said they would ticket for it, including our own Kreese. Yep. And 33 people said this was a straight pass.
Ouch.
So public opinion of Gilgamesh is terrible. I know everyone's making fun of Gilgamesh. Oh, he gets this EX and it doesn't overflow and it's a single target, blah blah blah. It's crap. But Kreese overworked, overexhausted, said he was going to take a break from the podcast, said he had to make this one specifically to defend Gilgamesh. And apparently his argument is so rock solid that he can convince lots and lots of people to complete 180 their opinion and pull for Gilgamesh. So prepare your ears. You are in for a Shakespearean speech on the merits of Gilgamesh. All right, Kreese, handing it over to you.
Okay, I was not expecting that. I'm gonna start by saying you should probably not pull for Gilgamesh.
Thank you for undermining everything we just set you up for.
I will say that Gilgamesh is a huge favorite of mine. I've always been a fan of the character, especially his appearances in Final Fantasy XIV have made me a big fan of him. And he's a really cool character, despite how much people have been dismissing him lately. He does a lot of things with a very simple kit. He's not crazy powerful like Noctis or Pain or Warrior Light, but he does a lot of things with a very simple kit, which makes him very strong. Just to go through his kit quickly, he has this build-up mechanic where he has a unique buff called Big Man on the Big Bridge, which he gets from his Mad Dance ability and also his EX Hurricane.
By the way, sorry, Kreese, is that we talk a lot about localization and the translations on this show, and I love the localization of Big Man on the Big Bridge. I think that's a very, very great translation/localization of the buff name. But
I agree too. I think the unofficial translation that the data miners had done was Hero on the Big Bridge, but honestly, the alliteration of Big Man on the Big Bridge just is so cool. So Joshua, please let the translators know it's a thumbs up from the TCC podcast.
We love Greg. Hashtag it's a podcast.
Anyways, Big Man on the Big Bridge is special. It gives Gilgamesh, more attack based on each stack he has. He can get up to 5 stacks. It's also an attack down aura for enemies, and at full stacks, his abilities become their empowered forms permanently. He gets an increased critical rate, and he does more critical damage. So basically, he has a ramp-up period, but once he ramps up, he does massive amounts of damage on all of his attacks. I think, in my experience with just testing him out, he's pretty much brave capping on every single brave hit he does once he's built up. His first ability is Death Claw, which is a gravity hit followed by a 2-hit brave plus HP that can brave overflow. The gravity hit is not quite as strong as Bart's, but it is still very strong at 60% brave reduction. After he uses Death Claw, his brave ability turns into Kotetsu, which is also a brave reduction along with a multi-hit Brave Attack. His second ability, Mad Dance, is a multi-hit Brave plus HP with massive overflow, and it turns his HP attack into Genji Blade, which is a Brave plus HP attack with some overflow. Once he has Kotetsu and Genji Blade active, Mad Dance turns into Wild Dance, which is a stronger version of Mad Dance that also has 50% splash damage that it deals to other targets, which is pretty cool. So basically, just to break it down, he has a gravity hit, he has splash damage, and one thing I forgot to mention that's new with his rework is that Kotetsu, his Brave Plus, now has a melee resist down effect, and Genji Blade, his HP Plus, now has a speed down effect associated with it. So he is debuffing, he's making his allies with that it hit melee more powerful. He's slowing down enemies with the speed down. He's reducing their attack with his big man on the big bridge buff as a debuff aura. So he does a lot of things, and his EX ability it's a little lackluster in that it does not Brave Overflow. It still hits relatively hard despite that. It has a turn delay in it. The big thing, though, is that it gives him multiple stacks of big man on the big bridge, which means he can build up to that max stack a lot faster and get to full power very quickly. Hurricane is on a decently fast recharge rate. It's about 2 to 3 ability uses to begin with, and then it's about 2 ability uses to recharge it after that. Which means that if you're paying attention, he can keep himself going for a very long time once he gets built up. Because once he gets access to Kotetsu and Genji Blade, and he has full stacks of Big Man on the Big Bridge up, they stay around. They do not go away. Wild Dance stays up. It does not go away. And he does a lot of damage with these abilities. He does a lot of things. And he's kind of unique in that way. Most characters do not provide these, albeit they also do more damage, but that's not the point.
I mean, so even with that glowing review, you're still suggesting people don't pull for him?
The problem is that Gilgamesh is not unique enough, so if you were not sold on him by anyone else, you should not pull for him, especially because there's a lot of good characters that came out recently that can do his job, or some of his jobs better, and there are characters coming out in the future that can do his job, or some of his jobs better. Gilgamesh is unique in what he can do as a whole, but it's not unique enough that it turns him into a mandatory character, is the best way I can put it.
All right, that's fair. Would you at least say that he's on par with all the recent characters, or no?
I think if he's not on par, he's close to them. As I said, I haven't had time to farm all of his summon boards yet, so he doesn't have any mastered summon boards. He doesn't have any of the summon passives. He's still stuck at level 60. He's crystal strength 65. So my Gilgamesh isn't at full power, but he's doing impressive damage despite that. Like, he might not do as much damage per turn that Noctis can dish out, but he can consistently dish out that damage despite that. The turn delay cannot be ignored. The paralyzed chance on Genji Blade can really come in clutch. Anyone who used Cloud during the level 50 era can tell you that random chance, it can save your butt sometimes.
So, unfortunately, Mark and I were both of the do not touch this banner camp. So I think, and since we were so adamant in Gilgamesh's defense, I think neither of us did any research at all on Gilgamesh.
Absolutely.
So,
not.
Mark, do you have any takeaway on this? I for once have nothing to add on a character evaluation.
I think he's a character from a game called Final Fantasy V. I like the cut of his jib.
I mean, the big takeaway I'm getting from this is Kreese is saying if you like Gilgamesh, he's very viable.
You make him
and that's
work.
all. Yeah, like I mean, because you're comparing him to Noctis, but Noctis is ahead of the pack. We're talking about like Alize or.
If you're trying to compare him to like Prompto or Alize, he's definitely on their level, if not above them. He's really strong. He has a lot of combat longevity, and again, you can't overstate that as defense starts to build up and get worse and worse, those gravity hits that he can do on Kotetsu and Deathclaw are going to matter more and more.
Right. Arola in chat is saying it sounds like a Sid situation. Great if you want him, but forgettable if not. And God of Cloud 9 is saying gravity is undervalued. You know, never underestimate the value of
I
gravity.
mean, that was one of the big things that made Bart's usable for a long time, was the fact
Right.
that he could just shave so much brave with missile.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so let's move along to
Any insights from
how
the
was the LC,
Lost
guys?
chapter? I did not play it yet, so
Yeah,
completely forgot.
me neither.
Okay, it's me. For those of you who don't remember, Gilgamesh has an LC boss that is immune to all debuffs. He's a
Oh wait, I meant do you have a quick story review for us that we usually touch on? Any interesting scenes or anything like that?
Sure, Gilgamesh does his own antics. He is mistaken for being a bad guy before he joins up with the allies. There's an interesting scene where Gilgamesh is talking with the Final Fantasy V crew, and it becomes clear that he remembers more of the events of Final Fantasy V than they do, because he remembers that that Galuf died and they don't. And he's about to reveal it when Galuf shows up. So that was a sad moment. There's also I think there's a Jecht scene where Jecht is like amazing.
Of course, there's a
Jecht's here
scene.
again. Like
scene.
I mean, I've stopped reading cutscenes again. And
no, I'm thinking of a different thing. There was a
Prompto, right?
Gilgamesh scene across the different games. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. Because I'm saying, like, I remember when Prompto dropped, everyone's all like, "Oh, Mino, you should love the Prompto event because Jecht is in the spotlight again." And you know, I predicted this a year ago. Some of the developers are in love with Jecht as much as I am, because goddamn, is he not in more scenes and have more cool moments than anybody else? Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm happy for it, but you know.
Anyway, so there is a special scene with Gilgamesh, or about Gilgamesh, where the party members all talk about how in their own worlds they have a Gilgamesh, maybe not the Gilgamesh, and how he's different from the one they met, that sort of thing. Kind of like they did the Sid scene when Sid joined the party in his Lost chapter.
Wait, so they're saying it's all different Gilgameshes? Because I thought the joke was
the implication is yes, because for example, Lion talks about her father's being named Gilgamesh, but not being anything like Gilgamesh.
Yes.
The Gilgamesh from Final Fantasy IX world is a card master, not a sword master.
Oh, okay.
Final Fantasy VIII Gilgamesh, Squall mentions him, and Cypher seems to have some recollection of him, but not a real recollection, that sort of thing.
That makes sense. The 9 and 11 ones are definitely different people. The 8 one I thought was the same.
8 and 12 I think are the biggest ones you can say are possibly the same one, but if they are, they're from different points in Gilgamesh's timeline because he doesn't remember them.
Yeah, 13-2 as well, as our own Dreamy has been spamming chat today.
13-2, he's in 14, and they seem to be the same Gilgamesh across those.
Mm-hmm. All right, sorry. Continue. So tell us about the fight.
Okay, so for those of you who were not here when Gilgamesh's event popped out, the boss is immune to all debuffs. And that means everything, even unique debuffs he is immune to, which is annoying because there's a lot of cool characters that just came out recently that use unique debuffs to be empowered, such as Noctis and Sync and Pain, Warrior of Light for his taunt.
Like every character.
It's obnoxious. And yeah, Strafe is mentioning in chat that the boss can also do a focus ability that gives itself 70k Brave in one turn. So you kind of need Bartz who's boosted, or you need Gilgamesh, or both, in order to shave that Brave in time before it kills a party member.
Interesting. So did you
Oh yeah, but it is weak to Thunder. I think I brought my level 30 Ramuh just for that, to get the extra damage during the summon.
Very nice.
But yeah, it's not a nasty fight. It's still EX level. You just have to make sure you plan around the fact that the boss is immune to all debuffs.
Very nice. All right. Well, I think that's about all we can do with Gilgamesh. So we have every week.
Sorry, just before we move on, do not be dissuaded by the naysayers. Even though I say he's probably skippable, he's still a really solid character. He's a lot of fun to play with. Just because everyone else is saying, nah, skip him, doesn't mean you have to choose that. And we just got a huge influx of tickets from the summon board, so feel free to throw some tickets there if you think you might have fun with him.
So what the TCC team is saying, kids, is if you like Gilgamesh, you pull on Gilgamesh. Don't let anybody say
Yeah,
anything
pull
different.
for favorites. I'm pretty sure I'm pulling on Realm this
Pull
month.
for favorites.
I don't think she's good at all. I mean, Lion too. Lion's complete
Realm's
trash,
good.
and I think I'm gonna try maybe throw some gems. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, most likely scenario, I'll be drinking and I'll pull. So
100%
I mean,
correct.
I'll probably report on that next week or the week after that.
So Mino, while you're still sober, there is a poll that you posted on our Discord channel. Make sure you join our Discord if you'd like to chat with us during the week. And the poll asks how people are farming summon boards. So can you give us a breakdown of how our community is approaching summon boards?
Sure. I mean, actually, yeah. Again, the results don't surprise me much.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like the starting from least to most is that there are this has to be a prank because there's 3 people saying that they plan to master all the boards while special boosted is a thing, and one of these people is Macnol. Yeah, and that just doesn't make
Macnol's
sense.
at like 50 right
Macnol's
now.
at 53 mastered. He's planning to master
Macnol
all
hates
of them.
grinding as much, if not more, than me, and
loves
he's
it.
going to be one of the 3 people
loves
who
it.
tries to master every board in 2 weeks. I don't
He's
buy
halfway
it.
there
I
in
don't
like
buy
4
it.
days.
What a fucking liar!
He's 50 characters away from mastering all of the characters.
This is a reminder, folks. Please, when you're answering these polls, answer truthfully. We're trying to gather data for the good of the community.
Oh.
We're trying to get accurate information. Don't be like Macnol and just like completely lie. It's ridiculous. Okay, moving on. We have about here we go. 4 people who said that they're only going to get the limited time rewards, which is 6 mastered boards in the 2 weeks. That's pretty reasonable. And then the majority here, it looks like 25 people said that they're going to try to get treasures for every character while special boosted is a thing. And finally, here we go. 10 people are saying that they're just going to go at their own pace without any pressures of the missions or any quota that they're imposing on themselves. So, I mean, it always seems like in the community, everybody just wants to use the special boosted to get all the treasures out of the way and then move on. So no surprise there. What I am surprised is actually that there's a lot of people who just don't care about these outside pressures, and I am impressed by that because good for you for not falling into these psychological tricks.
The problem is that huge portion of our roster is not going to have 2x XP anytime soon. So getting the treasures done at least while special boosted is active just means it's a lot easier to get all those treasures out of the way and collected so you don't have to worry about it in the future. Usually, as I've said before, I will pick who I want to master, especially as I've gotten busier. I'm not going to master anywhere near as many characters as I have in the past. I'll just master the ones that I know I'm going to be using for the next couple of months.
CSDX makes a good point that all the people probably taking the poll are regular listeners of the podcast and big enough fans to join the Discord. So keep in mind that all of these polls are probably being answered by more hardcore players of the game when it comes to whether they're pulling on a character or whatever they're doing. So I guess our target. Shit, what do you call that thing? I'm getting drunk already. Yeah, the demographic we're polling skews more towards the hardcore than the casual, for sure.
Yeah. And we did say this is just our Discord. It's not a generalization of all players by far. If you are listening to the show, if you are part of our Discord, you're probably in more of an elite member of the community than if you would not be absorbing any content whatsoever. So, yeah, so welcome. Thank you for listening. We do have a podcast question channel in our Discord, and that is now in the reformatted Discord under the podcast subcategory. There's a name for that now I'm forgetting. Thank you, Mino, for helping me forget words. And so that is for questions you have for us. So if you'd like for us to address a question, not in the Discord, but because you can just ask us questions in the Discord whenever you would like, feel free to. But if you would like for us to discuss something on the show, go to podcast questions, put your question there, and we will decide whether we talk about it or not. Was there any questions tonight, guys, that you wanted to cover? We've already gone longer than we thought we would.
There are a couple of questions I thought might be worth answering, but we have run a little long, so I'm only going to do the one that will only require one word to answer. Are artifacts optional? No.
Artifacts are not optional. I agree.
Huh.
I'll go back. I'll stipulate it a little bit. Artifacts are not optional if you are trying to clear Cosmos content. If you are just trying to play the game and have fun and you're not worried about completing the top tier stuff, artifacts are completely optional. They are not optional if you're trying to do Cosmos, because it's a pretty big change from getting even decent artifacts. I'm not talking about perfect artifacts. I'm talking about good artifacts. At least one stat that you care a lot about for 3 artifacts.
As we approach Chaos, I believe that artifacts will become more important. Mastering summon boards will become more important. Ito is saying summon boards give more stats than artifacts. This is correct, especially once you get 4 or 5 of them. But those buffs do help, especially your attack buffs for characters who are not going to be doing any damage once we get into Chaos. You will start to see the difference between a character with very good arts and a character with no arts. That's what we're talking about. So, Mino, you have a different opinion? We're not in Chaos, so I mean...
Yeah, I'll play devil's advocate here. Like, I have artifacts. I don't have good artifacts. And they make a big difference, but optional is a loaded word here. Like, I feel like if you're facing a fight, no matter how difficult, we're talking like hardest of Cosmos or even Chaos, if you just pull for the featured character, you get that synergy, you get that new level of power creep. I don't think artifacts, I think you can get through the fight without artifacts. Artifacts can bridge the gap, but like whether they're optional or not, that's a loaded question. Like, do you need artifacts to beat all the content and the gear? Well, if you had unlimited money and gems, or you pull wisely, I think you might be able to circumvent that. I don't think they're mandatory, is what I am trying to say. Like, they're a boost of power, but there are other ways around it. Like people said, summon boards ultimately add up to more. Synergy adds up to far more. The newest level of power creep adds up to more. Like, there are times where I've noticed, oh shit, if I had the right artifacts, this fight might have been easier. Or with this team, I might have made the turn count. But I've never thought that, oh man, do I need artifacts to beat this fight? I don't think I've ever felt like that.
So Strafe is saying the difference between no arts and decent arts across your whole team is immense. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Strafe, didn't you do a video about that specific topic? And if you did and you want to share it in the chat, please do, because I recall...
do one about this. Remember that a lot of these things, such as the Attack 108, the Max Brave plus 330, these are stat boosts that are applied before any of the multipliers from passives or buffs are applied, which means that these are being multiplied usually 2, maybe 3 times over in the battle.
Exactly. Yeah, so Strafe is sharing this, the real impact of artifacts, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put this in our show notes for later, so you
forgot that
check that out.
Strafe is actually pretty famous for this video. I know that when he made this video, it was being passed around a lot, where he did the hard math and the big difference. But like I said, I can't say definitively. I mean, I think there's a big difference between no artifacts and perfect artifacts, but like I very half-assedly farm artifacts. Like right now in chat, Aminosa is saying, see, Aminosa is like, oh, I resent that remark, Mark, about all of the listeners being hardcore, because Aminosa is like, I'm a longtime fan and I don't consider myself hardcore at all. And then Aminosa goes, oh, I think you should have at least 3 max orange artifacts for the character's best stat, which even I don't do. Like I play this game almost every day. I don't farm that hard. I get whatever the hell they give me, and I move on. So I will say I do have some artifacts, but there is no way I have 3 like attack 108s for Noctis or DPS characters, and I'm able to skate by without too much work. I mean, people are saying Chaos might change that. We'll see, but I've never felt pressured to have even that level of artifacts, which I would consider 50% effort. People chase double perfects. I've never chased double perfects. Like, and I rarely get like 3 108s or 3 330s or something like that.
Well, we can always.
By the way,
wrong.
guys, before we move on from podcast questions, just keep in mind that we will be deleting posts in there as we address them on the podcast. So do not freak out if we delete your thing or your post. That usually just means we're trying to clean it up and keep the channel clear so that we can more easily find questions to talk about on future podcasts.
Oh, and really quick. So Roba Isolkin, who is a veteran JP player and has cleared most of if not all of the content, I believe. I don't want to say all because I don't follow all their videos, but I know Robo Isolkin's a very established JP player, and he's saying Mino is right. You could theoretically unequip every artifact in the Chaos era and still clear everything. It just makes no sense not to have them because they're an advantage, an edge. But he is supporting that you really don't need artifacts to clear in the end because you get a lot of boosts from other sources.
Well, as Strafe's research showed, it's just going to take longer to beat the content.
Right. I mean, like, artifacts are super, super advantageous. I just don't think they're mandatory because we're talking about our artifacts.
I do think that while they might not be mandatory, they are an amazing boost and an amazing crutch if you are not as skilled as other players. Thus, it can improve your ability to succeed at battles that you might otherwise have failed at.
Agreed, but the question was, are they optional or not? So
which we said is a loaded question. My answer is no, they are not optional. Mino's answer is yes, they are optional, but it's stipulated heavily on both ends.
Yes. Okay. Fair.
All right. Well, thank you. Feel free to jump on Discord and submit all of your questions to us. We may or may not talk about them. Sometimes we talk about them in different ways. Someone was asking about burst weapons. I believe Your Highness was asking about burst weapons, which is the speculated new tier of weapons in Japan. We're not going to talk about that in great detail here because we don't know anything about it. Yes, we do know some of the details about those weapons. They are potentially going to allow you to break damage caps, individual brave hit damage caps, and then total damage cap from 9,999 per hit and 99,999 per total damage. Beyond that, we don't know a lot of details. So we will be waiting to see and also talking about it in Discord and other things as they apply. So
keep in mind that this is a global podcast or a global Dissidia podcast. So we typically do not talk about things as they come out in Japan because there's no point. It's not going to impact us for 9 to 10 months. And thus, it's pointless for us to speculate about something that hasn't even dropped in Japan on a podcast that talks about the global version of the game.
Yeah. Agreed. I was going to say exactly what Kreese was going to say. People were saying in chat, maybe off the air, like pre-stream, post-stream, drunk streams, whenever Mark does like farming streams for fun, we'll speculate about JP, but we definitely try to keep the focus on global. We associate with global content creators and link their stuff. You know, all the streamers and stuff. JP, there are a lot of different sources for that. We try not to touch on that in our official podcast. We'll happily talk about it in our Discord or whatever, but don't expect us, like, if the new tier of weapon comes out this month in JP, don't expect us to cover it in the podcast.
Yeah, we might talk about it as we move closer to that era, certainly, as we're now talking about EX Plus weapons right now, because they are upon us a lot sooner than the next tier of weapons. So it is exciting. Thank you, Your Highness. It is very exciting to think of, yes, the next tier of weapons, and also scary about what that may mean for the game. But looking ahead in global, we have Alphinaud, who event is called Walk This Way. Hits his collaboration with DMZ. So that is on the 7th. And then on the 10th, Arc 2, Chapter 5, Will of the Hunters, the Start Dash campaign, the Locke rerun event, Treasure Hunting, the start of the Autumn Festival, the start of the EX shop, and what else? There was something else. Double cycle quests.
3 free banners with at least 2 EX weapons per banner dropping on that date.
We were talking about that before stream. There are going to be 3 banners with first multi-pull free. I believe
a lot of people are asking what those banners are in the community. I will tell you
what they are right now. The first banner is the Start Dash banner. That is Cloud, Squall, Lightning, 3515 EX. You are guaranteed to get a on-banner weapon. No off banners. One of those 6 weapons. Triple banner. It's going to be 7 days.
You mean 9 weapons.
9 weapons. Triple EX banner. It's going to be 7 days from the time you log on the 10th to get that, to use that banner, access that banner. First draw free. Then we are going to have a free banner for the raid, which may not pop up till the 14th of October. That may not be on the 10th. And that would be Aerith, Ace, and Sarah. And is that a triple EX banner as well? Or just a double EX banner? That may just be double EX
I believe
banner.
It's just a double EX banner.
Wait, for which one? You cut out for me,
That
Mark.
is the
Sorry.
raid.
Oh, the raid. I believe it was Ace, Aerith, and Sarah.
And then...
all EXs?
Yes.
Yes, it is. That is a triple EX banner. I'm looking at it right now. So that will probably not be... So their cap will be increased on the 10th, but the raid doesn't start till the 14th, I believe. So I'm not sure if we're going to get that banner on the 10th or the 14th. Either way, it's going to be within that time period. And then we are also going to get a free multi-pull, first free pull, for the Arc 2 Chapter 5 banner, which is Knoll, Locke, and Noctis with Knoll EX and Locke EX. So that is 3 free multi-pulls on 3 different banners. Pretty cool.
I believe with the Start Dash campaign, we're also going to start the free EX shop event. And Lofi in chat is saying, will Selfie have her weapon at the EX shop? We do not know what the official GL slide with Joshua was featured weapons. But if it's the same as what JP got, it's the main characters of each of the 15 FFs. So 16 in total if you count Cecil twice with Dessel and Pestle. But it could be different for GL. So
yeah, we will not know until the 10th.
We can't say
and I believe basically, Joshua said there will be so many days of the event, so you probably will not be able to claim your EX till about 10 days into the event. So you have to log on every day to collect.
He said
rewards.
It would take about 7 to 10 days. I don't remember exactly what it was.
10 days.
Yeah. So.
Oh, sorry. You stop. So I think he specified 10 days, and he said it's just like the pseudo dailies we get now with the co-ops, where you could just wait for the 10th day and collect all of them at once.
Okay. Right. And Aminosa is saying, is the raid free too? So it's the Awakening banner with Aerith, Ace, and Sarah. That is the 3rd Awakening wave. It's just those 3. So, Joshua
is... It's kind of that. It also includes Knoll and Locke kind of for that banner, or for that wave.
Square Enix Joshua is saying, I incorrectly said 20 on the stream, but it's actually 10. So 10 days, yes. That's to collect all of the items or all of the tokens you need to reclaim your EX in the EX Power Token shop. So you won't be able to get it on the 10th is what I'm saying. but you're going to have to either wait 10 days or log in those 10 days. You should be doing that anyway, to get all of the tokens to eventually trade in for an EX. We don't know which EXs we're going to get. It may just be, as Mino said, those 16, those protagonist banners, protagonist EXs. We will talk about that extensively when that shop pops up, and we will give you our opinions. So we'll let you know. So, but 3 free pulls on 3 different banners in the course of 1 to 4 days, depending on when the other banner launches, the Awakening Wave banner launches. So it possibly on the 10th of October, you will have 3 free multi-pulls to pull. So thank you,
Amazing
Square.
Banners, by
Very
the
cool.
way,
And
too,
good banners. Yes.
Tell any friends on the fence about playing the game, this is the time to join now. Just like the name of the campaign implies, Start Dash, like that alone, it's Cloud Squall Lightning, right? Those characters are consistently strong throughout the life of the game. And then you have Noel, who's going to be very strong, and Ace and Sarah and Aerith, all very strong. Like, just
those are amazing. All 3 of those banners are very good banners. The Start Dash, if you are a new player, you'll get the Start Dash banner forever, or at least for the next how many ever months, year they do it. But those banners are all very good. So if you are going to start playing, this is a great time to start playing. And if you wanted to do the re-roll, where you delete and redo it so you get some good draws, this is a good time to do that. Not for an existing player to re-roll their account. That's, I don't think, ever good in Opera Omnia. But for a new player to start playing, this is an excellent time to start playing. That Cloud Squall Lightning banner is excellent. You know, Noel is going to be a great character for a new player, and Sarah, Ace, Aerith is a great banner for new players as well. So awesome. Very, very, very cool that Square is giving us those 3 first multi-pull free banners all at one time, and all being very good. They're not 1535 banners. They're not garbage weekly banners. These are very good banners. Double and triple EX banners. We're not even talking about 1 EX. So awesome. So thank you. And we can talk about which one you want to go through. Yes, I would go if you are encouraging your friend to start. Yeah, Cloud is probably the one to go for on that banner, because he will be very good moving into early chaos. So all right. Well, thank you all for joining us. That will be episode 71 of the Crystal Chronicles, your Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast. You can check us out. You can look at our notes here and check out all of our sites, but you can get all of our information at www.tccpodcast.com. There you can link to our Discord. There you can find our Facebook, which is at FFTCC Podcast, Twitter at FFTCC Podcast. You can search us on Twitch, The Crystal Chronicles. You can search us on YouTube, The Crystal Chronicles. We also have links to Inkwelder's Tonberry Troops infographic Flickr that has all of the infographics, Macno's Call to Arm Index, which has all of the things that I'm going to link, Strafe's artifact video. It is an awesome thing to do. If you are listening later, we thank you. The majority of our community does not join us on Thursday night or Friday morning UTC. So if you want to join us and come check us out live and interact with us as we are recording the podcast, you can come Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central, or that would be Friday morning, 1 a.m. UTC. We know some of you, that is pretty early or pretty late, depending on what part of the world you are. So thank you for listening later, and come join us on Discord so we can be part of our community. So for myself, Mark, for Mino Spellgood, for Kreese, a.k.a. Sir Rink, this has been the Crystal Chronicles. We wish you all the best of luck, good grinding, and goodbye.